guys, welcome to Wyoming Family Adventures. So, this video, we're going to show you how to install one of these. This is not going to be too hard.
Headlight guard.
It'll be all right. Let's get to it.
So we're gonna mount Cody's headlight guard. If you remember in the last video, we removed the windscreen to mount this GPS bar clamp and modify the bar clamp so it doesn't wiggle. Put a link in the description so you can find that video. We'll put the windscreen back on in this video, but if you want to look at the other one for how to take it off. And then what we're going to be doing is using a 4mm Allen head. Pop these screws down here loose. And then spin them out. All right, and then we'll get our modification equipment to put that headlight guard on.
One thing you want to be careful of is that when you do pull those nuts and bolts out, or bolts, whatever you want, that screw,
the insert,
it's
a nut insert, basically.
It's a nut insert that's on the inside. They do like to fall out, and then when they do, it gets stuck down inside here somewhere. And Carl had that problem on his bike, and I noticed mine was starting to scooch this way. So all I did is took an Allen key, grabbed a hold of it, and moved it. And that's one thing to be aware of when you are doing something like this. If it does fall out, it's not a big deal. Just take out these two and watch this one in case this one falls, and then fish down inside there.
Yeah, you can pull this whole cover off with these other two screws if you need to and fish down in there, but it's much easier if you don't lose them in the first place. Got it. There we go. Yeah, drop that one. Goes right here. You can see these are just nuts are just set in little cradles. Put Loctite again on our screws.
Holy crap, that's a lot of Loctite.
Yeah.
You love your Loctite, don't you?
You darn straight. We don't want things coming apart. We're pretty rough off-road, what can I say? So make sure you got your washers on there. And these are different screws than the ones you pulled out. These will come with your headlight guard. And then you have these spacers as well. So putting these in, you're gonna want to stick the washer or the spacer in first. You're going to hold your headlight guard against it to hold it in on one side, while you open it up on the other side and put the spacer in. Hold your headlight guard against that one as well to hold both of those in place. If you have a second set of hands around, that's going to be helpful. Then you're going to take your screws with your medium thread locker. We use medium on most everything. Very carefully get these going, because again, as Cody mentioned, you do not want those nuts that are in the sleeves popping out of the sleeves, and those pop out all too easy. If you got a center stand or a bike stand that keeps the bike level, it might help a little bit, rather than being on the kickstand like we are. But we don't like center stands. They get in the way when you're off-roading, and because they're spring-loaded, they also drop down, when you take hard hits or come down, land off of jumps. And it's not fun to keep your tires on the ground all the time. So you get those in there, and then just again snug them up to that German torque spec of good and tight, which is the appropriate tightness for the size of screw. With these, again, they're pretty small screws, so I can get to the tightness almost using just the short end of the Allen head, and we'll just give them just a bump with the halfway up the long end. Maybe more than a bump. Looks like I can get a... Let's see, I got another good 3/4 of a rotation out of that. This one. That one we got about half a rotation, so 2/4 turns. That's it for the headlight guard. If you look back, you'll see that the cutouts on this one are cut out for your LEDs line up, which gives it, you know, nice cool look. And this helps protect against, you know, bigger rocks flying into your headlight guard when you're riding more than just by yourself, or you're following other vehicles, or even just rocks coming off the front tire. It's important to protect that headlight on the Tuareg. And this is pretty cheap insurance. We're gonna go ahead now, put the windscreen back on, because we're done in this section of the bike. And the next, we'll show you that real quick, and then the next video we'll show you some crash bar mounts. So now going to put the windscreen back on after getting our headlight guard mounted and our GPS clamp and tablet holder mounted. We got our T-nuts in place here. You can see these. You just pop in place here, and we are taping them from the back, just kind of lightly, just putting some tape on, push, give it a good push at the bottom and top. Don't wrap it around the edges, because your windscreen's going to go there. We want to be able to pull the tape out from behind the windscreen after we put the windscreen on. You don't want those falling out when you go to put the screws in. So you just grab your windscreen. Don't have to worry about those falling out anymore. And you're going to be a little bit tight on your top mounts because of your tablet holder, and just getting them started is going to be your tricky part. I'm going to be gentle so they don't push out, even though we got tape. Okay. And you want them not quite snug on those, just a hair loose. You don't want it too loose, or that T-nut can pop out of the back and spin. And then you got to start over. So you can stick your fingers back here when you're doing this, but it's a pain to hold the windscreen with one hand, put the screw in with another hand, and have a finger to stick back here. So that's where the tape comes in really handy. And we'll put that in, line it up with our T-nut, get it started by hand. Again, getting them started is the hard part, because you don't want to push in too hard. Even though you got tape on there, it's not, you know, big solid mount. And see that one, even though we had tape on it, our T-nut spun on us. So got to pull it out, pop the tape off. So it may work, it may not with the tape. Pop that T-nut back in place. They're kind of hard to get in there with the windscreen in place. That's why I was trying to use the tape to hold it. You can see there's not a lot of finger room in there. If you got smaller hands than me, this might be easier. So you can hold your finger in there. Once I got the screw on the other side, though, it's a little easier. There we go. And we'll get our other two screws in the bottom. And then this is a 4mm. You can watch the video where we pulled them out for the GPS car clamp repair. You will see that. Again, just like barely, not really snug, but not loose. Because again, we don't want those T-nuts slipping out. And even though I'm sticking my finger back there on these, the tape is helping a lot still, trust me. Because when I did mine, I did not use the tape, and I fought with this for, you know, chasing T-nuts, dropping them for about 20 minutes. So after you have them all in there, then you can just go around each one and just snug them up. And no Loctite on these, because these are easy to access to tighten if you need to. And because they have a rubber mount in there too, they're not so likely to come loose. And then you can just reach in, pull your tape out, and there we are. We got our GPS tablet mounted on top, and for navigation and easy to read. And then we got our headlight guard mounted down here. And those are the two things you want to do with your windshield off. Might be a good time too if you're going to upgrade your windscreen. We're not doing that quite yet because I'm a nerd and I want to make sure we're getting the best upgrade. So we'll upgrade that at a later time. But for now, we got the headlight guard on there. We got the GPS tablet mount, and windscreen is back in place. And we also have a video coming soon for crash bars that we're installing. All right, we'll see you in the next one, guys.